Hey guys, I'm Naguura, and today I'm going to be talking about my thoughts and prediction of the race to world first, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an update of my personal experience and progression in Mythic Castle Nathria. So this is going to be a little bit of a different video because it's not going to be a guide. So just let me know your thoughts about this video and if you want to have more of this or not. If you want me to just keep my opinion to myself and keep making guides for you, just let me know. And if you like videos like these, just write it in the comments below, okay? Alright, so first I'm gonna explain the Race to World first, as if people don't know what it is, but it's pretty straightforward. Basically, whenever a new raid comes out, a couple of different guilds are competing to kill the last boss of the mythic difficulty of the raid first, time-wise, alright? So whichever guild kills the last boss first on mythic wins the race. And there's a couple of guilds competing. The guilds who are competing for the race to world first are the guilds who are actually daytime raiding and raiding 7 days a week. There's a misconception in the community that there's like all of the guilds who are competing for a race to world first. But of course, a guild that is only raiding 4 days a week or a guild that is not daytime raiding, they don't have a realistic chance and they're not actually competing to get #1, because to be able to get #1, you need to raid 7 days a week and you need to do daytime raiding. So you basically wake up in the morning, you go into the raid, you play 14 hours a day, you go back to sleep, repeat until the last boss is dead, right? These are the guilds that are competing for world first. We do have a current standing here from Raider.io if you want to check it out. Currently, Limit is #1, and they just killed Stone Legion a couple of hours ago as I'm recording this video. It's very possible that more guilds have killed Stone Legion once we are publishing this video, because other guilds were really close right after Limit. So Echo and maybe even Pieces also have killed Stone Legion at this moment. But yeah, it just goes to show that the guilds are very close to one another. And the guilds who are currently competing is Echo and Limit, who have been competing for a long time already. Echo did rename. They were previously known as Method. They're not raiding under the Method organization anymore. They have their own brand now called Echo. And we have Complexity Limit, who have been there for a while now, who won the last race to world first. Then we have Pieces, who have been competing for 2 or 3 tiers now. So they're definitely new in this race, but they're doing really well. And then we also have new guilds who have never competed before, like Aversion, which is a German guild. They also have an official broadcast on Twitch, which is in German, if you want to check it out. And then we also have BDGG, which is an NA guild who has not been competing before. They used to do daytime raiding on the very first day that it got released, and then they switched back to normal raid times afterwards. But this is the first year where they're trying to compete as well for that #1 spot. And they are a little bit behind right now, but there's still time to catch up for them. And it's really their first experience to be in this race, and it really isn't easy to raid that much and keep your concentration up. So the guilds who are competing for the first time, they might not be doing that well, but the more they're competing, the more tiers they have under their belt and the more experience, they will be doing better. And it's just really nice to see that there's so many guilds who are joining in on this race now because it became such a big event. And yeah, it's just really, really great to see all of those guilds competing. And we also have a bunch of Asian guilds who are doing incredibly well, like Skyline, who also always have an M+ team in the MDI, who's also doing really well. And yeah, just awesome to see how many guilds are competing and how big the race to world first has become ever since people's guilds started streaming the progression live, and so many more viewers got interested in watching it. And it's just insane to see the amount of viewers in the World of Warcraft section on Twitch. It just warms my heart, because I used to compete in Method as well a couple of years ago, and back then we were not streaming progression, and I always wanted this race to become bigger, and I wanted more people to be interested in it and more people to watch it. And we finally managed to get to a point where there's multiple different organizations and multiple different streams, and so many people are watching it, and it's just great to see it. All right, so moving on quickly to the fairness of the race. I know a lot of people have opinions about this. Let me know in the comments below what you think about it. I think the biggest concern that people have is the reset, because the weekly reset happens on different times depending on what region you're in. So NA gets a reset on Tuesday, EU on Wednesday, and Asia on Thursday. So there's a pretty big discrepancy between time. And the winner of the race is the guild who kills the boss first. So you would think that the guild who gets the reset first would always be the guild who's getting an advantage. But I personally know that there's many different factors going into it. And then having the reset first is not always an advantage. It's really like situational, because sometimes if you have the reset first, and maybe you encounter a lot of bugs that the EU guilds or the Asian guilds are not encountering because Blizzard has seen it for the NA guilds and they have fixed it already for the EU guilds. Then also NA sometimes gets the reset quite a bit later because Blizzard has trouble applying the patch or the raid or whatever. We've seen it this time around, right? The servers came up a couple of hours after the reset, while for EU and Asia, they just came up immediately as soon as the reset was done. So that's already cost them a few hours, even though they were still ahead. Then another thing is also strategies, because everything is being streamed now. The guilds who reach the bosses first, they give up a lot of information to the other guilds because they are able to watch, like the EU guilds are able to watch the NA guilds and see, oh, so we wanted to try this strategy too, but we saw that BDGG tried this strategy and it didn't work for them. Well, then we're just not gonna try this strategy. We're just gonna do something else, right? By seeing the mistakes other guilds are making and fixing those mistakes, you can just not even attempt to do them yourself, right? So you're saving a few tries here and there because you can just see the other guilds trying it for you, basically. So yeah, there's definitely pros and cons for both sides. Also, if you're really close to killing a boss, but you're just missing a little bit of extra gear. So let's say both Echo and Limit would be really close to killing the Nathrius, but they're missing a little bit extra damage. Then of course it would be a really big advantage for Limit to get the reset first. Because if you get the reset, you get a bunch of gear because you get the weekly vault. You can re-clear the raid, meaning you can get loot from 9 out of 10 bosses on your raid team, which increases your DPS by quite a lot. So the guild who gets the reset first is the guild who gets the gear faster, and therefore they're going to be able to kill a boss. But this is only really an advantage if you're close to killing the boss right before the reset. So if this is not actually the case, if you're not close to killing the boss, then it doesn't matter as much. But yeah, these are just some examples of like pros and cons of having a reset first or having a reset after. So just let me know what you think about this. And I wish Blizzard would just have a global weekly reset for the first like 2 or 3 weeks of the race to just get all of these pros and cons and unfairnesses out of the way. It's really annoying because I think the guilds themselves, they know what they're getting into because they're willingly participating in the race, knowing that the reset is on different days and knowing that it's not going to be 100% fair. They know that, right? But they're still acknowledging whoever guild kills the boss first. There's no point in a guild saying, oh, you only killed the boss first because of this, or you only killed the boss first because of that, right? Because it's always like pros and cons for either side. So the guilds themselves, they know whoever guild kills the boss first, they win. And they're happy and they're like, yeah, this is how it is, right? This is the race. It's just not 100% fair, and we're okay with that. Of course, they would love to have the reset on the same day as well, or the same time, but they're not going out of their way to say, oh my god, you don't deserve this or something. That's more of a community thing, and I really hope the community steps up a little and stops these kind of things, because yeah, it sucks if you're rooting for a team. Let's say you're a Complexity Limit fan, and then Echo ends up winning, and you're just like, oh my god, well, if Limit only didn't lose the amount of time at the start, Limit could have won, and if only blah blah blah, then Limit could have won. You know, like there's no point saying all of these things because it just tears down the other guild who has won. And it really sucks to be in that winning position and just getting so much hate from the opposing like fan base. Because you have worked your ass off, right? Like those guilds, all of them, they're putting so much time and effort into it and so much preparation. So if they win, they should really like get praise for it, and they should really be like, they're the real winners. It's not their fault that the race is not fair, right? Like it's not Limit's fault that they have the reset first. It's not Echo's fault that they can watch the other streams before they can go to the boss, right? Like it's no one's fault, because of course they're just doing whatever they can to get an advantage. And all of the guilds are doing that. There's no shame in doing that, right? Tearing one of the guilds down because you think that they don't deserve it is definitely like completely the wrong way to go about it. You should just support the guild you are rooting for. And if they don't win, well, then just give them some motivation. Tell them that next time they can win. Just make sure they know that you're supporting them anyway. And don't go to the other guild and tear them down, because there's no use in that. And everyone involved, like all of the guilds involved, just hate seeing that. Like I know from many different sources of the guilds, they hate it when their community, their fan base, goes to the other guilds and just tears them down and is just like flaming them. I know it's part of like this like internet culture in the community, but I just really hope that people just tune it down a little and just be happy for the guilds that win. Because this race, all the guilds are involved, they're all doing a great job and they're all putting so much time into it. They really deserve just getting the praise that they deserve by winning the race, right? So let's hope everyone just loves each other and we're all just having unicorns and rainbows and flowers everywhere. Anyway, moving on. I wanted to talk about my predictions. I personally don't really want to make a call because I think the win is going to be between Echo and Limit. I know Pieces also is really close, but I still think that Limit and Echo are just like one step ahead compared to Pieces and compared to the other guilds that are competing, because they have been in this race for so long and they've built an insane infrastructure for this race specifically. Like the amount of preparation they put in and the amount of people they have working for them in the background as well is pretty crazy. And that's why I think one of those two guilds is going to win. If I would have to pick one, I would say Limit, because they're just doing so well. Like they're number one right now, which of course doesn't necessarily mean anything. But yeah, if I have to, I still think it can go either way. And I think Echo is doing incredibly well as well. Also, all of the other guilds are. So it really could go either way. But if I have to choose, I would say Limit, just because I've been watching them do progress. Like they're just working together so well, and everything just seems to be so smooth and relaxed, and everything just seems to be working out for them. They're just doing such a great job. So I personally think both of the guilds can win though. So let me know your predictions in the comments below. Let me know what you think. All right, so moving on, let me just talk about my own quick history as I've now talked about the race. Let me real quick just talk about my experience and what I've been doing. So as some of you may or may not know, I have been raiding in World of Warcraft forever. I'm playing since vanilla, and I've been in World First guilds for a while. A couple of years ago, I've been in Method for a couple of years throughout MOP and throughout Worlds of Janner. And then I've been in Serenity, which was also a guild that competed for World First throughout Legion. I've gotten a couple of World First throughout these expansions, but then I decided after Serenity disbanded and Method also disbanded back when I was in there and I joined Serenity. In case some people are asking, I left Method because everyone left Method back then. Method, or Skull rather, and Roger Brown, they joined Rapid Eye Movement and formed a new Method back then, and we left and joined Serenity. Now, Serenity didn't work out because people left and we didn't manage to keep up the guild, so it disbanded. And then after that, I decided to create Future with Sloot back, because we wanted to have a guild that streams progression. We didn't want to compete for World First, but we wanted to compete for like the top 10, top 20, but still stream the progression. Because back then, no one streamed World First race and no one streamed top 20 progression. It was like a thing that people just didn't want to do because they didn't want to give away their strategies. And we wanted to be this like first guild who starts streaming it, right? And it worked really great for the first couple of tiers. We did struggle a lot with progression because it was a newly formed guild, and we definitely didn't do as well as we thought we should be doing, but the streams worked well and it was really like a great success when it came to the project. Afterwards, a couple of tiers later, other guilds decided to stream the World First race. So Method streamed it, Limit started streaming it, and we just had streams from the race, which meant that the future streams definitely lost in popularity, because if lots of guilds are streaming, why wouldn't you want to watch the world first guilds compared to like a top 20 guild, right? It made sense that we just lost viewership. So when this happened, I really kind of lost motivation to raid with Future, just because it was such a big time investment to raid 7 days a week and to have like 4 characters leveled up and everything, to end up not having that many viewers when the race is happening because everyone's watching the world first race, and then also not getting the ranking that we thought we should be getting by raiding 7 days. So I personally left Future after BOD because I wanted to look for a guild that is raiding less, because I was thinking, if I'm not going to compete for world first, well, then I want to be in a guild that raids less but still does really well. So I want to just look for a guild that raids like a handful of days a week, but prepares really well for those raids and puts as much time into preparation as possible. So once you are in the raid, you can kill the bosses with very few tries. And I've been looking around for a lot of different guilds. I've even tried to join an NA guild because they raided so late in NA time that it was like 6 AM in EU time with the time differences. I did that because I wanted to have like the weekend off, and I also wanted to have the evenings off of streaming. Like I didn't want to stream in the evening, didn't want to stream on the weekend. But it was too early, like 6 AM was just way too early for me, and I didn't manage to properly keep that up. So I left that guild again, and I then joined the guild Advance, which is a German guild. They raid Mythic twice a week. There's a third raiding day added for Heroic, but yeah, the Mythic progression is only twice a week. We raid Thursday and Monday. And so far, we only raided one time, actually. As I'm recording this, we only raided Thursday for Mythic, and we killed 3 bosses, which is like really good, specifically for a 4-hour raid, right? Even ended up being like top 10, like the 10th best guild in Germany, by only raiding 1 day up until Sunday, right? So that's really great. We're gonna be doing another raid on Monday, which is today. So hopefully we can kill 1 or maybe even 2 more bosses. But yeah, that would be great. Either way, we're doing really well right now. We only had 2 wipes on Huntsman, and we had, I believe, 13 wipes on Hungering Destroyer. And some other guilds had like 80 wipes on Hungering Destroyer, or like 10 hours of wiping. So I am really proud of us and of my guild that we have been doing so well so far. I probably jinxed it now, and the raid today is going to go horrible and we're not going to kill any boss. But I'm going to keep you updated on that. But yeah, so I personally am a washed up world first raider. I am definitely not as good anymore as I used to be, and I'm also like old, right? So but yeah, I still just love raiding, and I still just want to put as much effort into it as possible. And I really just found my motivation again, because I had kind of lost the motivation in the past, because I've been playing the game for so long and the future thing didn't work out the way I wanted, and like all of those things happened, so I kind of lost the motivation. But now Shadowlands is really just an add-on that I personally really love, because the amount of chores you have to do is kept to a minimum. There's no endless grind anymore, which I hated. Endless grinds with AP and stuff, that's all gone. You still have a bunch of chores that you need to do with like Torghast and Demal and that kind of stuff, but it's really kept to a minimum, and I personally don't mind it as much at all. Yeah, I just really love this expansion, and I love raiding in a 2-day raiding guild that still does so well with the few raids that we're doing. And I just really am super happy with how everything works out in WoW at the moment. So yeah, I'll keep you guys updated on our progression of the raid, and I might do another video of the race if it's not over in like a couple of days, because they already reached the last boss now, right? But yeah, I hope you guys are doing well with your guild's progression if you're raiding at all. Let me know how far you've gotten in the Mythic raid or in the Heroic raid so far. Let me know your progression. And let me know your other thoughts about this video. It ended up being a lot longer than I thought it would be. Sorry, I've been talking a lot. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you over at my stream if you want to come and hang out over at twitch.tv Naguura with 2 U's, just like my YouTube name. And yeah, otherwise, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Have a nice day, guys. Bye.